With the official announcement of EAFC, there are many changes coming. And of course, one of the biggest areas where there will be the most changes is within gameplay. And this year, EA are doing something quite special. And in today's video, we are going to be going through absolutely everything. This year with EAFC, similar to FIFA 23 and also FIFA 22, it will be supported by Hypermotion. But this year is slightly different. Whereas within FIFA 22, there is only one single match played in order for EA to get game capture. And in FIFA 23, I believe there were a few more games. This year with Hypermotion V, there's over 180 top tier matches. And this comes from competitions such as UEFA Men's and Women's Champions League, Premier League, and La Liga. This brings in many more animations that we've never been able to have before. This now means that there will be over 11,000 true to football animations, which is twice as many as what we had within FIFA 23. And in terms of frames for animations, as well as EA's system to blend these animations together, there is now millions of frames of data. Now, in terms of how this affects gameplay, it means that things should be a lot more fluid. Whereas there may be times of hesitation between what type of animation could be used for a certain scenario where there isn't a middle ground between them, now that gap in between should be a lot more fluid. One way in which we see this, and it's an expansion to a previous system, which is Accelerate. This was the new run-in animations that were added as part of FIFA 23, allowing you to have lengthy, controlled, and explosive. This is now expanded to 7 different run-in animations, with a blend between explosive going through to controlled and then finally lengthy, dependent on the players. And on top of this, there will also be the unique run-in animations for selected players, these being some of the top players within the game. And the last thing that this will improve with Hypermotion is kinetic physical play. Well, that's what they're calling it. Going back to FIFA 22, when Hypermotion was first added to the game, the match that was played was professional football players, but of course with that only being one single game, it's not enough data, and it's not the professional football players we all know and watch every single week. With the new recordings, it's given a much better feel to how the elite players, the professional men and also women are playing. And one key area which was improved massively is the physical play, being able to shield off the ball. Whether this is 2 players going head to head in order to try and get the ball, or a player defending it within a corner, letting it go out for a throw-in, whatever that may be. There will be much tougher battles with this. And physicality is going to play a much bigger part, but it also means the animations are going to be there to back it. Let's talk about a new system as part of the game. Well, kinda. This is playstyles. Playstyles in themselves are somewhat new, but they're also somewhat not. It's a revised system to what we had originally, which were traits. Traits have been in FIFA for the longest time, but unfortunately there was nothing that you could do about them. If a player had a trait, whether it was a positive or negative, that would be a trait. For example, long shot and finesse shots were traits, but so was injury prone, which would just increase the chances of that player being injured within a game. Now, with what has been revealed so far, there isn't any of these playstyles which have a negative side. It is a benefit. So if someone does have the finesse shot playstyle, it means that they're going to be able to perform finesse shots faster with additional curve and improved accuracy, which will then give you a higher chance of being able to score a goal with a finesse shot. And with these playstyles, it's not just this playstyle gets applied to a player, which it does, but there's another layer to this, because there is also a playstyle plus. And playstyle plus does the exact same thing. It's just a tier 2, a much better version of whatever that playstyle is. So with finesse shots, it will be able to perform finesse shots significantly faster than the normal playstyle. It will have the maximum curve possible and exceptional accuracy. In total, there are 34 different playstyles, which goes through various positions from goalkeeper, defenders, midfielders, and attackers. But they're not exclusive just to positioning, because it would be under defending or scoring goal, it will be ball control, physicality, which can be applied to any outfield player. And these will be added within every single game mode. with a few slight changes. What I mean by that is with Ultimate Team, it does sound like you'll be able to buy these on the transfer market and apply them to your players, which would certainly be interesting. Of course, players such as Erling Haaland, Van Dijk, De Bruyne, these top level players within their positions should naturally have these playstyles automatically apply to their card. But if everyone has an even playing field, does it really matter having someone like that and instead just going for someone a lot cheaper and dosing them up on as many playstyles as possible? This is yet to be seen. But with these playstyles, they also play a part within clubs, Volta, and also career mode. Let's talk a bit about attacking. There are a few key areas that EA have put focus on this year more than anything else. Of course, they will have still gone through other areas, even though I'm not going to be mentioning them, but they just haven't put as much attention to them compared to the ones we will be talking about. Firstly, passing. EA have put emphasis on different types of passing mechanics that will be part of the game, mainly precision passing, which has been part of the game before, but it should be a new and improved system. This is where you can pass the ball, whether it be a through ball, a normal pass, or even a lob pass, but as you press the button, you also press down the right button on your controller, whether that be RB or R1. This will allow you to have a perfectly weighted pass, where it does start out with power, but as it gets closer to the person you're trying to reach, which is most likely going to be your striker, it slows down, allowing them to run on top of the ball. There will also be a swerve on demand pass, which is the same thing of you being able to press any pass button, but whilst you're doing it, you'll also go and press L2 or LT depending on your platform. This is similar to a precision pass, except now it's going to have a lot more curve. Maybe a direct route with a precision pass would maybe work, but there's defenders in a way in order for you to curve it around that defender so that it's as far away from them as possible so that they have a lower chance of being able to get the ball, but still being able to curve right round to your striker. This will be the swerve on demand. And there's a variation of this, which is then headers on demand. This is more of a much faster paced header, which still acts as a pass. You'll hold L2 and R2 or LT and RT, and then do the normal pass type in order for you to header the ball for you to give it from one player to another. But now it's going to do it at a much quicker pace and in a way which is going to go straight to the player's feet, ready for them to take a touch and then quickly move on or follow that momentum. Speaking of which, the other area in which EA have put focus on is controlling the ball with dribbling. Touches are going to be a lot more fluid, so it's going to be effort dribble touch, which is a new mechanic in the game. If you pass the ball into a player's feet, they've got a defender behind, they will automatically go through and they'll take a touch to push it away from that defender or quickly just let it roll through, taking a nice little touch to change direction and immediately run on. Much cleaner controlled first touch. And it seems with dribbling, this has been the key area of them focusing, that initial first touch. Maybe sometimes when you are running with the ball, you've got a pacey player, but the ball just gets a bit too far away from them and it gives the opportunity for a defender to lunge in. That is where you could just take a nice little touch, jump over the defender and carry on running. There's also been a few different animations with goalkeepers right in front of goal of you being able to walk it around them and take a nice little touch just to put it ahead, ready for you to bait the keeper, quickly do a skill move, maybe change direction quickly, and then pass it into the back of the net. All of these are just the finer details when it comes to dribbling. And with this, they've also gone through in some of the gameplay that has been shared, included some of the new skill moves, which will be a ball roll drag, a drag back turn, a flare nutmeg, and flare rainbow, which are the 4 new skill moves to be added this year. It's not just attacking which has been improved, alongside there being these dribbling techniques for attackers. With defenders, there is a way to counter that. This is through the new advanced defending. The buttons themselves haven't changed, so you still will be able to press X or A, and there's also the option for the normal circle and B. This will allow you to go into seal outs, shoulder challenges, and also the standing tackles. Slide tackles themselves have also been improved, so there's new animations for you to do a stop ball tackles. This is applied within everything as far as I'm aware. But you can do a slide tackle which curves more around the player to immediately stop the ball dead, ready for your player to quickly jump back up, get to their feet and either boot it ready for them to go and put it to their midfielders or attackers, or carry on running themselves. And with attackers getting that improvement with dribbling, defenders have had a massive improvement with positioning. This is off the ball, but it's also when it does get a bit close to an attacker receiving the ball and you're there ready to defend, immediately pushing up, ready for you to put a foot in just so that you can put that attacker off. Moving on to set pieces, there will be more / less opportunity depending which side you're on. With the addition to playstyles, there are some playstyles which benefit passing or even shooting, which could also affect free kicks. And because of that, they then had to go through and revamp the system, changing the power, curve, as well as dip. Penalties as well have also slightly changed, whereas before you would have a 1 in 3 chance of being able to stop the attacker, to actually save the penalty. Left, right, and the middle. Within EAFC, there's now going to be 5, which is where it actually comes in of you having less opportunity, which is my way of saying less of a chance of being able to save a penalty, but then that also gives more of a chance of scoring a penalty. These areas, instead of being left, right, and middle, will now be bottom left, bottom right, top right, and also directly down the middle. And finally, that does also mean with Hypermotion and getting more animations for specific players that there will also be new running animations for particular type of players depending who they are, all of which would be there to throw the goalkeeper off. That is the main bulk of gameplay changes for EAFC. There are a few smaller things here and there, a few competitive settings, some rule sets, referees are supposedly to be a lot stricter, player movement has improved. There's also a few smaller things with your practice arena and the skill games that will be available, and finally for PlayStation there will be enhanced haptic feedback. But this is all the changes to do with gameplay, and this gameplay, although is a broad view on things, there will be some slight differences depending on the game mode. Typically Ultimate Team is slightly faster paced. Typically with online gameplay, things just feel much quicker, so you'll still have those slight differences. But overall, there are some things in here which are impressive, and I think it could definitely lead to better gameplay. But at the exact same time, as someone who mainly plays Ultimate Team, it is something that always ends up being inconsistent anyway, mainly down to the EA servers. So with this, we'll just need to wait and see. But based on what has been shared so far, is this something that you're excited for, or do you wish that there were some other changes? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going. So see ya.